Good morning. Today we're going to be working on our figurative language study, and today we're going to be working on illusions. Before we start, let's review. Figurative language uses figures of speech to be more effective, persuasive, and impactful in your writing. Let's talk about the types of figurative language that we've studied so far. We've talked about metaphors, which compare two things that are not alike but have something in common. An example of a metaphor would be, this busy classroom is a zoo. We've talked about similes. Similes compare two things using words like or as. An example would be, this homework is as boring as watching paint dry. And we've talked about allegory. An allegory is a hidden meaning in a story, poem, or picture. An example, the story of the three little pigs and other fables, which have morals or hidden meanings behind them. Today we're going to be learning about allusions in literature. First, what's an allusion? An allusion is a brief, indirect reference to a person, place, or thing, or an idea of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. It's a big definition. It doesn't explicitly describe the thing in detail to which it refers, and a requirement for an allusion is that the reader is supposed to understand what the author is alluding to based on the clues given. So it's almost like a hint, or like an inside joke with your friends. Talking points, things to remember about allusions. What is an allusion? Remember that an allusion is brief, an allusion is indirect, and an allusion is a reference. An allusion talks about person, place, thing, or idea of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. And this comic above is an example of an allusion to Cupid, and the man is saying, I'm starting to think that this guy has no idea how to play darts. And you see Cupid throwing his arrows or his darts. Here are some examples of allusions in everyday speech. He lies so much I'm surprised his nose hasn't grown 5 inches. This allusion is referring to the story of Pinocchio, whose nose grows every time he tells a lie. My old neighbor is a Scrooge and always tells people not to bother her. This is a reference to Scrooge, which is a mean character in the story A Christmas Carol. He was such a Casanova that anyone would want to marry him. A Casanova is a person who is charismatic. And this is an allusion to saying that this person is very charismatic, that anyone would want to marry him. How to identify an allusion. Questions to ask yourself. Whenever you're reading a story and you think that you've come across an allusion, ask yourself, what is being referenced and how does it relate to what I'm reading? You can also ask yourself what the author or writer wants me to understand about this character, setting, or plot by connecting it to something that I'm already familiar with. And you can also ask, what's the author's purpose of using this allusion? Is it to create a certain feeling or mood? Is it to make a joke? Or is it to show a character's traits or motives? All right, so for some independent practice of allusions, I'm gonna have some homework. So part 1 is to find an allusion. Find an allusion using a poem, song, story, or a movie. Explain the allusion that you found and what it's referring to, and why is it being used. And then part 2 is to write your own allusion. So for the first part of part 2, you're gonna come up with 2 versions of the same sentence. The first version will tell the reader what they need to know in a literal way. And then the second version should have the same meaning, but we'll use an allusion to hint towards the meaning. So examples for your homework. So part 1, find an allusion. So the allusion that I found was in Love Story, sung by Taylor Swift. The line is, little did I know that you were Romeo and you were throwing pebbles and my daddy said stay away from Juliet. This is a reference to Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. The 2 characters in the song are in love, but their families do not agree, just like in the story Romeo and Juliet. My example for part 2 is to write your own allusion. So the normal sentence that I wrote is, in the forest, everything is peaceful and beautiful. And in the sentence with the allusion, it's going to have the same meaning. In the forest, everything was like the Garden of Eden. And then I explained it below. The sentence with the allusion is saying that everything in the forest is peaceful, like the Garden of Eden in the Bible. When you found all of your allusions, post your examples to the class Google Docs to share. Thanks, bye!